I am an alumni from MSU and will be paying off my tuition over the course of the next 10 to 20 years of my life. And currently I'm working for nonprofits, including Global Exchange and the Michigan Student Sustainability Coalition. The alleged violations at the MSU coal-fired power plant outlined in the consent order have real consequences for the students, staff, and community at MSU. Sorry. We all know the consequences include impacts to those who have respiration problems like asthma, bronchitis, and other cardiopulmonary diseases. The violations at the MSU coal plant impact children and senior citizens disproportionately. This is an environmental justice issue. People who come to MSU from other urban areas with bad air quality already suffer disproportionate impacts from air pollution. In Michigan, over 900 deaths occur on an annual basis as a result of bad air quality, with coal-fired power plants responsible for the majority of those deaths. For the MSU community, many hours of productivity are lost as a result. Students are not able to attend classes, children miss school, and families take time off work because of health-related issues directly tied to SO2 and NOx emissions. When these emissions are in violation of permitted levels, lost productivity increases. In fact, in this case, SO2 emissions are so high, they are considered a high-priority EPA violation. These violations under consideration today occurred in the first quarter of 2008, but from my understanding, similar violations have occurred on 2 separate occasions in 2007. MSU and the MDNRE did address the 2008 violations in part as outlined in the consent order by December 1st of 2009. However, the opportunity for public input into the process prior to the consent order being agreed upon and implemented has left little opportunity for meaningful input into the RLP violations that have occurred at the MSU coal plant. To allow more time and public input into the process, I am asking that the consent order not be entered into until MSU and MDNRE have time to consider additional public input and consider a supplemental environmental project that could eliminate the possibility of recurring violations. A similar project in Colorado successfully mitigated 80% of its penalty through a wind power SCP. The consent order should not be signed for implementing a quality assurance plan for purchasing coal from Appalachia. This is not, implementing a quality assurance plan from purchasing coal from Appalachia is not as protective as stopping coal use entirely, switching to Western sulfur coal, or using biomass in the facility. As I said, SO2 emissions are so high that they are considered a high priority EPA violation. In my work as a clean energy activist, I have visited fellow organizers from West Virginia and felt their homes shook from the blast of mountaintop removal coal mine. This is unacceptable as MSU students are paying the university tuition to be exposed to dangerous levels of air pollution and contribute to mountaintop removal coal mining. We have the capacity at MSU to stop burning coal and use alternatives. In fact, MSU is already moving in this direction, and I feel that there is no better place than the college campus to help Michigan towards a clean energy future. Future capital improvements to MSU's coal infrastructure, such as building a structure over the coal pile for coal burning Unit 4, as outlined in the consent order, could be better spent on renewable energy infrastructure on campus and purchasing clean energy on campus to alleviate future SO2 and NOx emissions. So to summarize, as a graduate of MSU, I am in opposition to the consent order for 3 reasons. 1, the process for meaningful public participation has passed, and we would like the opportunity to pursue meaningful dialogue on an SCP that addresses the violations of the consent order. 2, remedies in the consent order do not consider alternatives such as stopping coal burning completely and switching to an alternative fuel source, increasing wind and concentrated solar to achieve lower SO2 and NOx emissions. And 3, I have also met Lisa Jackson and was invited to the White House's Youth Clean Energy Forum in December, and met with Secretary Hilda Solis, Secretary Ken Salazar, Secretary Stephen Chu, and EPA Administrator Lisa Jackson, and it's expressed at this Youth Clean Energy Forum is that President Obama has a goal of capping CO2 and moving this country to a clean energy future during his time period within the next 10 years. The EPA has announced that they're finding that global warming's impacts on public health and welfare are significant, and to this date, MSU has failed to address their own goals of reducing CO2 on campus. So the $27,000 fine, as Lee said, we're unclear on what the formula is for that. And at a minimum, we think that an equal amount should be allotted to an SEP to install wind, solar, geothermal, or another renewable energy or energy efficiency option on campus to replace coal as a primary fuel source. So I'm requesting that the MDNRE and MSU delay entering into this consent decree for 60 days or longer if all parties are achieving progress on the SEP, or until the public has an opportunity to discuss cleaner alternatives to resolve ROP violations that are more protective of public health. I am from a generation that is ready to build a clean energy economy. I hope MSU and the MDNRE will join us. Thank you for your time today and consideration.
Thank you.